La voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde hermosa 1470M, 96.9 FM. Les habla Lilia Galindo. Me acompaña Michael Dutton.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Bienvenido. Welcome. Well, just want to talk a little bit about the conference that I attended on Friday, August 18. It was organized by Ethnic Media Services, and it was very interesting. And I would like to explore these issues with you since you have been a board member, a teacher, and even later board member. So, in this conference participated Dr. Sean Harper of the University of Southern California, Casey Mehan, the director of Freedom to Read program, and Tuan Nguyen, assistant professor. You say that?
Tan Nguyen.
Yeah, okay, assistant professor in the College of Education at Kansas State University. And the topics that, well, let me translate to Spanish.
Right.
Estamos hablando de una conferencia a la que tuve la oportunidad de asistir y que se discutió esto de la educación, qué es lo que va a pasar. Participaron, es una conferencia que se realizó el viernes 18 de agosto y participaron varias personalidades, maestros, expertos en la educación, y invité a Michael Dutton a discutir este tema porque él ha sido maestro, ha sido miembro de las mesas directivas y recientemente miembro de la mesa directiva del Los Angeles County Office of Education. Entonces quiero que nos platique. Do you know they say that 233,000 teachers left the profession? What do you think that is going to happen now?
Well, we're running into a situation where we've got to adjust and modify how we deliver instruction and how we teach our children because there's no way to get the job done with a reduced teaching force without some modification, some adjustment. We sort of backed ourselves into this corner over time, I think, because we haven't really invested in the future of our children like we should have. That is my personal opinion. And because of that, the people who are delivering the service, who are very, very dedicated to doing that, to teaching, have gotten older and are retiring. Not enough younger folk are getting into the profession because it's not highly regarded, it is not well paid, and it is not as respected as it used to be. And so I see that there's an adjustment that's happening, and it's happening in a lot of different ways, but our access to technology, the kinds of technology that young people have access to, is forcing some modification in the delivery of instruction and how we pass on knowledge and information.
Ok, le estaba yo preguntando qué es su opinión de esto, de cómo está evolucionando la escuela. Como ustedes saben, se está regresando a la escuela este mes. La semana pasada empezaron nuevamente clases y estamos comentando que hay un déficit de maestros de aproximadamente 233,000 que ya no quisieron regresar. Y le preguntaba yo en su opinión qué es lo que va a pasar. Dice, bueno, lo que va a pasar es que tenemos que ajustar y modificar la manera en cómo la manera en cómo ayudamos a los estudiantes desde el kindergarten hasta el 12º grado. Dice, desafortunadamente no se ha invertido suficiente en el futuro de cómo preparar a los niños. Y entonces dice, los maestros actuales se están volviendo más grandes, ya se retiraron. Aquí incluso nos hablaban que después del COVID-19, pues hubo una pérdida de maestros muy grande. Dice, bueno, muchos se retiraron y obviamente el COVID-19 pues hizo que se redujera el número de maestros. Muchos ya se retiraron, ya están grandes Y el problema es que no hay suficientes maestros jóvenes para reemplazarlos porque la profesión no es bien pagada, porque el respeto que se les tenía a los maestros se ha perdido. O sea, así es que lo que vamos a necesitar es ajustarnos y a través del uso de la tecnología para que se puedan hacer nuevas maneras de educar a los jóvenes a través de los modelos tecnológicos que incluso muchos niños ahora están usando. So, look, 41 states say they will be short of teachers.
Yes. Yes.
Particularly in STEM educations.
Right.
And the year is starting. What do you think?
Well, to be a teacher in STEM education, of course, you've got to have the basis, the STEM background and instruction in your credentialing. And I think there's not been enough effort in the credentialing of teachers in the area of STEM, and which is science, technology, engineering, and math. That's what STEM stands for. That's a track that gets you into using and managing the technology. Well, all this technology that we're talking about is new, and the colleges and the universities have not focused on the delivery of instruction and support for training teachers to be STEM teachers. And so that's got to be picked up, and that's got to be that void has to be filled in. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to happen, but if it's the case like it has been for several years, you'll have students in college and high school and college who have a stronger background and basis in technology than the teachers do.
Ah, bueno, estamos platicando de cómo 41 estados de los Estados Unidos dicen que no van a tener maestros suficientes, particularmente en el área de STEAM. STEAM quiere decir ciencia, tecnología, ingeniería, arte y matemáticas. Y dice Michael que no se han preparado suficientemente a los maestros, y con los avances de la tecnología, dice, pues lo que incluso a veces vemos es que vamos a encontrar que hay estudiantes más preparados que los maestros en estas áreas. So when you don't find what they were saying in the conference is that if they are reducing the requirements to have this kind of positions, and what happened in the areas like this, in the areas that they are with low income families, we have the worst of the worst, no? Because if they don't find teachers and they have to fill those positions, how do they do it? Do you know, in your experience?
Do I know? No, I don't know. This is a national situation, and it's a national problem that there's going to have to be some real creative thinking and some real effort to support, getting people ready and prepared to fill this educational void, if you will. I'm thinking in terms of technology. You have a cell phone there, and you have to understand, or we all have to understand, that cell phone is the oldest piece of technology that a child in kindergarten will know. Yeah, that's the oldest piece of technology that a child in kindergarten will know. For us, in our generation, we remember when you used to have to go to a building and submit some punch cards to get data translated and printed out because the computer was in a building on a campus. Well, now they have access to more technology, more memory, more information in that cell phone than that building had when it had a computer in it. And so we have a tremendous breakneck speed of acquired knowledge, information, and experience with technology in younger children than we had in our entire life. And I'm not entirely sure how you close that vacuum, that void, because I'm still asking my son and my grandchildren how to make some of these devices work, because I don't know.
So sad, yeah.
But they do. And they're teaching their teachers. And so we've kind of have an inverse situation in education that, we have I will brag a little bit on the high school district because with this in our area, in this region, we are the high school district itself has I think it's 300 plus teachers that are Google certified, meaning that they can be trainers of trainers on how to access and use the technology. And as far as I know, this is the largest group of educators probably in the country in one place.
Mm.
And so there's an effort being made there, but there are so many districts and so many children who won't have access to that kind of knowledge and that kind of instruction being delivered by somebody with that basis of background
Bueno,
and training.
bueno, estábamos hablando de cómo, le decía yo, que como no hay suficientes maestros para cubrir estas vacantes que se tienen, ya les dije 233,000 maestros que dejaron la profesión, pues ahora se están reduciendo los niveles para aceptarte como aplicante de esas posiciones. Entonces, las personas no tan calificadas como deberían van a entrar a dar clases. Y dice Michael que lo que necesitamos es adaptarnos rápidamente, que él ve cómo los jóvenes están muy actualizados en lo que es la tecnología. Dice, yo te apuesto que ese teléfono celular que tienes ahí va a ser la cosa más vieja de la tecnología que ellos conozcan. Dice, porque ahora están avanzando tantísimo y dice que ellos van a continuar así a través del internet o a través de la tecnología, usando la tecnología, lo que les va a permitir avanzar mucho más rápido. Entonces dice, lo que sí aquí yo creo que en el Valle del Antílope, y estamos orgullosos de ellos, es que en el Distrito Escolar de Preparatorias del Valle del Antílope tenemos más de 300 personas, 300 maestros que son certificados por Google, lo que les permite no solamente conocer la tecnología, pero además poder ser asesores o maestros de alguien que lo necesite.
Did I say all that?
Yes, you say that. But I was wondering, they lost during the COVID the opportunity to learn as much as regular students. Now,
Well, that's yes and no.
Yes or no?
That's yes or no. And maybe when you start talking about what kids lost and what kids didn't get, you have to compare that with what were you looking for them to get? Because the only evidence, the only information that comes out when you give somebody a test is did they know what you were asking them about? Well, they may have gathered 67 different other things from living in a COVID environment, in a COVID situation that you didn't ask any questions about. So how do you know what they know? When they start doing that and trying to measure this year compared to last year and what the test scores were, that's, to me, that's a little insane, because if you're going to ask questions about the world that they live in and what adjustments they had to make, they may have a whole lot of answers for you, but you didn't ask those questions. Does that make sense?
Ajá. Dice, bueno, lo que hay, le decía yo que si se había perdido mucho durante el tiempo del COVID, que los jóvenes no habían aprendido tanto. Dice, no, lo que pasa es que aprendieron cosas diferentes, no lo que estaba dentro del programa, pero aprendieron cosas diferentes a través de toda la tecnología que estuvieron usando, y ahora tenemos una perspectiva diferente y deberíamos de tenerla de cómo medir si el estudiante sabe o no, porque si no le estamos preguntando lo que aprendió, pues estamos creyendo que no sabe, pero en realidad ha aprendido bastante.